Hey, what's up? It's Samori. This is for those who hunger for more, so much more, so much more. Bridge in, get all the refugees in sync, inspire. What's up, folks? It's Samori. Welcome to my podcast where I talk to creative entrepreneurs who are either working full-time, doing what they love, or they're in the midst of that pivot because, sometimes we got to work those 9 to 5s, but there are creatives out there who are real close to going full-time with what they do creatively. On this show, we talk about what these creative entrepreneurs are doing in their businesses, how they're being most effective, what they're doing with their marketing, because we know 100% marketing is really the key to success, and what their plans are for the future. On today's show, I'm very excited to have a young creative entrepreneur who I've known literally all his life, but I watched this young man grow and build his video and photo production business to the point where he is now full-time. And that's always the goal. And he's doing some amazing things in an era where video is literally king. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Visualize by Mal. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it's good to have you on the show, man. And I've been looking forward to this conversation for a while. It's been a long time in the making.
It's been a long time in the making, at least 18 months.
At least 18 months, because of course, when I first saw you starting in this career, you came to Little Drummer Boy Recordings,
Yep.
Our content creation and recording studio, to do a co-op.
Yep.
At the time, you were a student at Howard University, and one of the things I saw was just the magic behind that eye, man. Like your visual eye is amazing, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I mean, I remember when I first heard about Little Drummer Boy, my dad was like, you need to check out Little Drummer Boy. I know someone who owns a studio down on South Street, and I walked down here at a late night on South Street, and I had an opportunity to work at Walt Disney, and I was like, I'm not feeling Disney right now. I want to work for myself, and I think that there's a way I can learn more about Little Drummer Boy. And then when you told me about your business and your success of over 20 plus years as a full-time entrepreneur, that may have been the best and worst thing you could have told me at that time, because it ultimately led me down this path of me now being a full-time entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's amazing, and congratulations. And it's
Thank
interesting. I mentioned to you that when you told me, look, I'm really close to making that move.
Yeah.
Right? To burning that 9 to 5 bridge.
Yeah.
And what did I say? I said, listen, I know I did it, but it's nothing I can just seriously encourage somebody to do because it's difficult. Like, I'm proud of you for doing it, but it can be a very difficult role. But welcome to this side.
Welcome to the side. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So let's do this, man. Let's go back, man. Take me back to when you started this craft of video and photo production. Just tell me about kind of what your influences were, how you got started, and just a little bit about that journey.
So I got started back in high school. We had a video productions class, and I remember my teacher gave us the cameras, but he didn't really teach us how to use the cameras. But I knew how to use the iPhone camera really well. So what I ended up doing was I would take the project and get the requirements, and then I'd go shoot it on my phone, and I'd get an A. But my teacher didn't know I was doing it on the phone. He was really enjoying it and was like, this is good. But then when I spilled the beans and told him it was on the phone, he was like, oh, it's amateur. I don't like it anymore. And I kind of took it to heart at the time. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to go buy a new iPhone because I still didn't know how to use his cameras. Mm-hmm. And when I bought the new iPhone, I bought a selfie stick from Five Below, and I started recording basketball games. And next thing I knew, I was saving up maybe like $20-25 from every little highlight video I was creating. And I borrowed a cam from my uncle, gave him my watch, told him I needed a camera. Once I got enough money, I went and bought my watch back and went and bought my first camera. So, that was the beginning. And then what really locked me in on it was in 2020 when my grandfather got sick. And when he passed away in 2021, he left so many cameras at his apartment. And he used to talk about photography my whole life. and I never saw any of his pictures. I just was like, this guy he's into photography, you know?
Right.
But then when I saw how many cameras he had, I was like, I want my crib like this. You know, I just was like, photography is the way. I need to be taking pictures all the time. And I have an opportunity in 2023 versus back in the 60s and 70s where Black men have an opportunity to actually be valued and make money off of photography in a different time.
Wow, that's amazing, man. So let's unpack a couple of things. First thing, you started out with the iPhone.
Yeah.
And that's incredible because these phone cameras, right? Just these phones in general, just allow us to do so much with media right now. And I think that gets taken for granted.
Absolutely.
You know, there's so many creatives out there, media creatives, making music, doing films, wanting to do these types of things, but not realizing they have it in the palm of their hand.
Oh man, it's literally in the palm of your hand at all times. People always say, what camera should I get? What camera should I get? And I tell them, look, I'm not a camera store. I do photography and videography with the cameras that I have. These are the cameras that I use. And I could recommend you a few, but why would you, if you're just trying to try something out, not use what you already have?
Right, absolutely.
That's my question that I ask everyone. If you already have what I have and that what everyone else has, you may not be maximizing your tools.
Right, because sometimes it becomes an excuse, you know, that quote unquote lack of resources becomes an excuse.
It's the biggest one.
It's the biggest one because a lot of times we don't really lack resources.
Yeah.
You know, the things I hear most that people say is, oh, I lack resources or I lack a team, right? Well, with technology nowadays, where you can leverage your phone, you can leverage the internet, you know, you can be a team of one and get started.
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes I even feel like maybe I could go back to just one in today's age of saying, if I used all my resources and outsourced everything and really did my own homework, maybe I could have a team with everything in my pocket using my phone and my computer. Honestly,
absolutely.
That's just where technology has taken us.
100%. You know, and then because really, even as a team of one, and you're not that, but some of our listeners are right now teams of one. You know, having your tool, which could in fact be your phone, but then having a good CRM, which stands for Customer Relationship Manager, where as you're meeting people, as you're getting prospects, you're bringing them into a database where you can follow up with them and use automation. You know, there's a great tool called Faya.ai, Fiya.ai, that I recommend the creatives out there check out because this is one such tool. It will allow you to follow up with your prospects. It will connect with all of your socials, you know, and will allow you to do everything from creating landing pages and funnels. So, you know, those types of tools are amazing.
Oh, absolutely. Fiya.ai is super special. It's something that I've integrated into my media production company who visualized you. And a big reason for that is because we work with so many people, and to actually be able to keep up with every single person mentally or just writing it on a notepad, those days are over for me. And my business lacked marketing for a long time. I just threw an event in 9 days, and I don't think I would have been able to succeed in throwing that event if I didn't have a CRM. And I think the reason for that is because being able to reach out with people directly and in a cost efficient and timely efficient way, it changes the whole ball game. Being able to reach out to a couple hundred people at once,
right,
changes the whole game.
At once, to be able to send a mass text, right, to a group of people that you already know are interested in what you do.
Absolutely.
You know, so that's
and then being able to separate other people out of it. That's another thing.
Exactly. Being able to segment people that may be into something else, but there's certain people who are into the video, and you can just send an email or a text to them. That's a game changer. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
one of my favorite parts about Fiya.ai as well, because like I work with people all over the country. So imagine if someone's in Cali, I might not need to send them an email about something I'm doing in Atlanta this weekend, but I might have everyone that I know in Atlanta all in one space where I don't have to go look for them.
Absolutely, man. Well, that's amazing. And so it's good that you are, especially, you know, because you recently pivoted, right? I want to unpack one other thing before we go there, though. So you're a legacy. So you said your grandfather was a photographer, right? And anyone else?
My uncle as well. That's where I got the camera from.
Right.
Yeah, my granddad, he wasn't giving me any of those cameras when he was living. He was like, don't touch that.
Right, yeah.
But my uncle was a jazz photographer. I mean, he's captured moments outside of jazz as well, but he's really known for his jazz work, especially throughout Philadelphia and the DMV area.
Right, and your uncle is Paul Somerville.
Paul Somerville III.
The third, Paul Somerville III, and of course, at the Philadelphia Clef Club of Jazz, right?
Yes.
The iconic House of Jazz in Philly, you can see Paul Somerville III's work on the walls.
Yep.
I mean, he's had a chance to photograph some of the great jazz musicians of our day.
Absolutely. I took a lot of those pictures for granted growing up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I looked at his work. I'm like, these are good, but I don't know any of these old guys. You know, they're just playing instruments. That's how I used to feel.
Right.
But now, especially being here at Lil Drummer Boy Recordings, imagine I'm just taking pictures at an audio engineering class. But 25 years later, someone is like, you took pictures of Cowboy Killer, or you know what I mean? Such and such, XYZ. And at that time, I might be like, I didn't even realize that these were legends right with me. And that also taught me with my game of photography that most of the people I'm shooting now, they're already legends and kings and queens. That's just my market. But they might not get the notoriety until later.
How about that? That's how it goes. But speaking of notoriety, I mean, you've already had a chance to photograph Lil Baby.
Yeah.
And some other names too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been blessed to shoot so many huge artists between Lil Baby, Cash Doll, Diddy, Lil Durk, Quavo, Fat Joe, King Combs. I mean, I've enjoyed it. The journey has been amazing, especially even at 19, being in rooms I never could have saw myself in.
Right.
And professionalism and my skill taking me all the way where I need to be.
All the way, man. That's absolutely amazing, man. So yeah, let's go ahead now and jump into this pivot. So you recently made a pivot. You were working the 9 to 5, right? Which, hey, that's just the life of human beings who have to make a living. But you have this passion, man. You have this calling for photography and for videography. So you made the pivot, right? How was that? Tell me about that process. What was going through your head when you said, you know what? I think I got to leave this 9 to 5 and do what I love for a living.
I was at a point where my 9 to 5 was hurting the people around me. And even though it was guaranteeing me money, the anger and resentment of not chasing my passion 100% of the time was bleeding into my personal life. I have my best friend working with me full time, and we're just leaving money on the table because I have a disproportionate amount of hours going into that 9 to 5. And when you do the math, you don't, I mean, I'm not gonna say you don't, I'm saying I don't miss out anymore. But I was scared. Because it's just like, okay, your security blanket's gone. Mommy's not there to tuck you in. So, I mean, that's all it really felt like. You know, now I really have to be on top of client relations and marketing and making sure that I'm available for my business during business hours now. So all that time that I was doing after I get off work from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., that 9 a.m. now or that 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. is just wide open for my own business. So this is my first time actually having that in a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's great, man. And again, that's great. And I want to say congratulations, man.
Thank you.
You know, because it's not an easy feat. It can be scary, right? But there are some systems, man, and there are some processes in place that can really propel you for success as a creative entrepreneur. And we'll talk about those in a minute, right? But before we do that, I want to ask you about, like, what do you like to take pictures of? What do you like to look at behind your lens?
I love making people just feel beautiful, because I think that a lot of people who just step in front of the camera may not even know how beautiful or how great they truly look. That's what it is many times. And then I just capture people in a way where they've never been captured before. You know, it usually tells a lot about their personalities. I try to just capture the essence of what they're doing in that moment. So, I mean, I love taking pictures of women in business, especially CEOs, clutch professionals like yourself, and especially college graduates. that's every year. People are always graduating from college, and every single college graduate has a very unique and specific story to their college journey. So I think being able to tell their story through a photo shoot is everything for me, no matter who the client is.
Man, that's amazing, man. And what you said was right on point, man, that people just don't know how beautiful they are, man. That's a strong statement. I like that, man.
Thank you.
You know, that might be a good motto for your company, man. People just don't know how beautiful they are, man.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's supposed to be it's a professional experience, but it's supposed to be holistic and healing almost. You know, people sometimes have never had pictures of themselves taken for years. When you get into this daily grind of going to work every day, especially if you know, are a hardworking individual, you may miss a lot of moments and forget, you know, the person in the mirror sometimes. So now it's your time to say, oh, damn, this many years has passed. I haven't seen myself look like this, but I love how I look. Or I just try to ensure that people love how they look, honestly.
How about that? Visualized by Mal. You heard it here. All the creatives out there, it's your time to shine. Now, you are passionate about photography. I can hear it. You've got the legacy. You've got this incredible business that you've launched and you're full-time in it. My question for you is this, right? You have the camera, you're great in photo, and you love photo. We're in the age of video.
Yeah.
So from a business standpoint, obviously, that potentially is more lucrative.
Yeah.
How do you kind of work that out in terms of the choices that you make and the clients that you work with?
Yeah, so video is an entire different ballgame. And it almost feels like I was new to it now, even though I've been doing video for years. And the reason now is because now people value video much more than they did. Because at one point, video only seemed like something that was TV or just so far gone where they couldn't have a role in it. Now everyone wants to be a part of video.
Right.
For me, my media production company, Who Visualize You, having the opportunity to partner with Lil Drummer Boy has been very special because it's helped my business tailor to the needs of the client who needs video, music videos, session videos, all types of videos, honestly. But when it comes to choosing the client, I don't always get to pick my clientele, but I will limit what type of videos that I do. As long as the video as long as we're able to meet the needs of the client, I'm down with video all day. It's definitely a more lucrative pot than photography, depending on how it's done.
Absolutely. And again, our partnership has been just magical for me too. Of course, we partnered and have launched the content creative studio here at Little Drummer Boy, the content creation studio, I should say, here at Little Drummer Boy, which is amazing, which has given us the opportunity to work together, to work with other entrepreneurs and help them build that social media content, that digital content that's really going to help their brands grow and flourish and be profitable. You know, when I was coming up, man, in this business, it's been 27 years now as an entrepreneur, right? And 20 of those years full-time entrepreneur, right? And I didn't have the mentors. I didn't have the coaches. It was a grind for real. It was like walking down a field with tall grass with a machete and just, you know, paving a way, so to speak. And it wasn't always easy, but to me, failure wasn't an option, right? Now, today, I love being that mentor and that coach to other entrepreneurs, to other particularly creative entrepreneurs. Yes, I am in the music industry. I have this recording studio. I've produced. I'm an engineer. But working with creatives is just one of my joys, right? And helping them to understand, you know, systems that they can employ to help leverage even limited resources they might have. You know, helping them with understanding strategies and most importantly, helping them with marketing. So this segment of the podcast, man, I like to call the marketing rundown, man. And I want to understand kind of as an entrepreneur now, creative entrepreneur, just getting started, but having done so many amazing things, what's in your marketing toolkit? What are you doing to market your brand?
Well, right now, we have Fire.ai. And if I didn't have Fire.ai, my only marketing tool would be a follow-up message.
Okay.
But now, oh man, landing pages.
Yeah.
That's a part of marketing, right?
Absolutely.
We just set up a few landing pages, constant emails. And when I say constant, once every other week is enough for me right now. And then social media strategy. Yeah. That's everything. Ads.
Yes.
Ads. Ads is number one. And I was scared to spend. The same person who spends money on clothes and everything was scared to put the $15 behind the ad at first.
Right.
But now I'm just like, I want ads. I want commercials. I want to pump it out. So here at the content creation studio at Lil Drummer Boy, I mean, it's limitless. I could shoot a commercial for myself and then just have an ad and show people exactly why you should be working with Visualize by Mal. So
absolutely,
video is my promotion now.
Yeah, and as a person who has run a ton of ads, enjoy running, Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube, when you came to me and said, hey, we're going to do this Photoshop party, this photo shoot party, right? Mm-hmm. And we're going to do it in 9 days. And I looked at you and said, that's aggressive, right? But I knew that if we did employ some pretty aggressive marketing, so we decided to do the Facebook and Instagram ads.
Yeah.
And for every dollar you spent, you made $3.
Yeah. And I mean, that's better than a stock.
That's a 3-to-1 return. And a lot of creatives don't do that. They don't invest in paid advertising.
Oh, right? I didn't.
Right? They don't invest in paying for ads on Google, paying for ads on Facebook, paying for ads on Instagram. Sometimes they might boost a post, but boosting a post is not the same as starting an advertising campaign on Facebook or on Google. It's the best place you can put your limited resources if you're trying to grow your brand. Every business needs 4 things from a marketing standpoint, right? Well, they need 4 things just generally. They need customers. That's number 1. Without customers, we can't survive, right? They need leads, right? Or prospects. These are potential customers that are constantly coming, inquiring about your services, and you want to convert those leads into customers, right? In this day and age, you need positive reviews. Right. So Google reviews and all those types of things are really, really important. We call that social proof. Right. Yeah. And then they also need a system to reactivate their past customers. Yeah. So when you talked about doing your email marketing, where you're emailing your current list of people, texting your current list of people, that's so powerful because, creatives and entrepreneurs who don't do that, they just leave money on the table.
Absolutely. And just hearing that makes me want to say I need to be reaching out to people more than every other week with the daily blast. Because granted, I am a photographer and it can seem like I'm only selling photo shoots, but there's always something you could reach out to a client about or a lead about. You could talk about anything. Yeah. It doesn't always have to be the, I'm throwing you this bait, come bite it. It's more so, hey, did you know? Did you know about this? Have you heard about this?
Right. And there's something in marketing called just basically the 9-word email. And you say, hey, I'm just reaching out to find out, are you still trying to ... Right? Hey, I'm just reaching out because I want to know, do you still want to get that video done? Right? Mm-hmm. Just a 9-word message that can just reactivate that audience. Right? You want to keep that audience warm. That audience are people that are now in your CRM, that you've met at events, that you've done work with, right? That you run ads to your landing page, and now they're in your database. You don't just want to let them get cold. You want to, I'd say a couple times a week, you're just sending out a message, sending out some value. It's always good to give value more than anything, but then just inquiring about their needs, because that'll keep them warm. And a warm audience is a lucrative audience.
Absolutely. I feel like this is the warmest my entire pool of people, my Visualized by Mal family has been in a long time. I've been trying to make sure that everyone is thinking of Visualized by Mal. Maybe not thinking of Malachi, but at least when people think of photography, Visualized by Mal should be right next to the word photography when people think about it. And videography. But that's who Visualized you is for.
I love it. So when you think about videography, when you think about photography, you got to think about Visualized by Mal. And at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself or ask others who visualized you.
You have to.
You have to. I'm Samori Coles. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of It's Samori. This episode is brought to you by Little Drummer Boy Recordings, a recording and content production studio right here in Philadelphia. Who visualized you? A game-changing photography and videography company, and Fire.ai, a marketing tool for the ages. We're going to talk to you on the next episode. Keep shining, keep doing what you do, and I hope you found inspiration. I hope you found motivation and some value in today's episode. Peace.
Peace.
Appreciate you, Mal.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
That was clutch. That was tough.
This is for those who hunger for more.